Hey guys, Tyler Berger here with Bass Fishing HQ. Today I want to tell you about the #1 secret to locating bass during the spring. Stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. So spring fishing is just around the corner. During the spring, it's one of the best times to catch bass. It's one of the best times to catch literally the biggest bass of your life. You know, during the pre-spawn, female bass are the biggest that they'll probably be all year. They're full of eggs. And it's really a great opportunity during the spring to catch your biggest bass of your life. And you can also find some of the biggest schools of your life during the spring. Today I want to talk about what I think is the #1 secret into locating spring bass. And guys, today I'm going to kind of explain this method of finding fish. But in a couple of days, I'm actually getting ready to drop a complete guide to the early spring bass fishing and how to locate bass using topographical maps. It's going to be a really good video. It's a complete guide to the early spring. And so if you guys haven't already, subscribe below so that you can check out that video that should drop here in just a few days. So first, I really want to explain how spring bass fishing kind of works, right? You really have 3 different parts of the spring. You have the pre-spawn, you have the spawn, and you have the post-spawn, right? These are all different time frames that happen during the spring. And guys, what typically happens in the spring is you have bass that are staging. In the pre-spawn, you have bass that are in wintering areas, right? And these bass are wanting to move shallow in order to start spawning, which they will do kind of later in the spring. So the bass are going to travel from their wintering areas to their spawning grounds where they'll spawn. And then after that, they're going to travel back out to the main lake to kind of go back to their summer locations. So this is the secret that I'm about to tell you, is that bass use a highway going from one place to another, okay? And really what the secret is that bass stage at different places on this highway as they're going in and as they're coming out. Guys, this is the areas that are this is the #1 area that you want to find during the spring, and that is the staging areas, right? These are the areas that bass are going to basically congregate before they go up and spawn, and then after they spawn, they're actually going to come back to these same type of areas, and they're going to be there before they go out into their summertime patterns. So that's it. So what are staging areas exactly? Staging areas are exactly what they sound like, right? Like I just explained, these are areas where bass take a little bit of a pit stop before they go up and spawn. They also stage on these same areas on their way out. If you think about Randy Howe during the Bassmaster Classic that he won, he found one of these areas, right? It was a staging area. The bass were passing through a bridge on Lake Guntersville as they were going up to spawn. And not only did he find a funnel, but he found an area where bass they were staging around this bridge, and they were waiting in order for the weather conditions to be just right in order for them to go out and spawn. When Buddy Gross won an FLW tournament a few years ago, he said that he found an area that he felt that both pre-spawn and post-spawn fish were staging. So he had found a hole in the grass where not only were there fish that hadn't spawned yet, they were waiting, but also fish that had already spawned and had come off the bank, they were also at this same area, right? These are gold mines. This is the #1 place that you want to find during the spring, right? These areas where bass collect. This is literally where you're going to find the biggest schools of bass all year long. And it's both as they're going in during the pre-spawn and as they're coming out during the post-spawn. A staging area can really be a number of different things. One of the best staging areas that you can find on a lot of lakes is any kind of secondary point outside of these spawning flats, right? So as bass are going in to spawn, they'll stop at these secondary points in the creeks before they go up and spawn. And then after they spawn, they'll stop again at those secondary points, and they'll feed up before they go out to their summertime haunts. Another one of these areas is any kind of creek channel swing against the bank, right? The last kind of deep water, that last creek channel swing before you get to the spawning flat, is a great pre-spawn staging area. And the same as the bass are done spawning, they're going to collect along those creek channel banks before they go out to the main lake. A lot of times you will also find out that staging areas are actually just certain pieces of cover, right? For instance, you might have a large clump or a grass flat like of hydrilla outside of a major spawning ground. That can be a staging area. Bass are going to wait there before they go up and spawn, and then after they spawn, they're going to come back to that same area. Guys, if you want to check out an awesome video I did about grass fishing, click on this link. So guys, that is it. These staging areas, both before they spawn and after they spawn, are literally the best places that you want to find. I actually had found one of these particular staging areas a couple years ago on Lake Chickamauga. I fished the Bass Open, got 4th place, did really well, but I found a shallow grass flat. That just had some young hydrilla growing on it. It was only about 6 or 7 foot deep on this flat. The hydrilla was only about 4 or 5 foot tall, and the fish that had spawned. They came out to this grass flat, and they were coming to me every single day. Every single day I kept catching them better and better off this particular grass flat, and it was awesome. It was one of the most fun things that I had ever done in fishing, just finding a staging area where fish were coming out before they went to their summer areas. Before we get any further into the video, click on the link in the description below, and you're going to land on the Bass Fishing HQ website, where you can actually purchase one of these awesome bass hats. It would really help out the channel a lot, and you're also going to get a one-of-a-kind bass hat. And the reason why it's one-of-a-kind is because this is actually a wood patch on here. Not only is it a wood patch, it's a wood patch from a bourbon barrel, which is really unique. It's really one-of-a-kind. You can purchase them down below. Click the link below, and I definitely appreciate it. Thanks, guys. So guys, I hope you understand what I'm talking about with staging areas. If you don't, like I said, I'm about to drop a pre-spawn bass video in just a few days. It's going to be a complete guide where I walk through all of this stuff. So please subscribe below to the channel. And if you guys want to check out a post-spawn complete guide that I already put out, you can click on the link above. Check it out, guys. Please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.